Hi, everybody. This is the Lucky TJ at Living Metaphysically. And wow, we have some exciting news for you today concerning your life, our lives, and Unifii. And what can Unifii bring you that is going to help you to have the financial future that you have been looking for? Stay tuned because it's going to be some really exciting stuff. So, what am I talking about? Well, Unifii is having some special news that's going to be announced on Monday. Well, it's announced already, but the details are going to be announced on Monday. But I'm going to give you a little bit of information so you can understand exactly why it's so important, why I'm convinced and confident that it's very important for you to understand what Unifii is and why you want to be a part of it. So I'm going to just talk a little bit about Unifii. One thing, I am I am a constant learner. I love learning, and there's a lot of I've been in the cryptocurrency space for coming up on 2 years, which is a long time for many people. And I have been seeing or been involved with lots of opportunities. Now, there's some really smoking hot opportunities that are coming out right now that are really wanting to help people to be able to make money, because a lot of people really need to make money in this day and age. There's a lot of people who are wealthy, and then there's a lot of people who are in the not so wealthy, and there's a lot of people who are so far away from being wealthy that they're unbanked. And Unifii is a company that would like to help all the people who are not wealthy to become wealthy using techniques and strategies that wealthy people know about because they already have been in an environment that they start off learning about these. They call this, if you look at, if you're familiar with Robert Kiyosaki's cash flow quadrant, the side of the quadrant where people learn how to take their money and then multiply their money, because they already have money, then that's the part that wealthy people often have come from, and that's given them an advantage, and they can just go ahead and remain wealthy, while a lot of people have to start from scratch, and then they haven't had these advantages. And Unifii is a company whose purpose is to bring financial security and sustainability to many people who haven't been able to acquire the kind of financial success that they wanted, or to take people who already have financial success to the next level, or wherever a person is on this whole spectrum. Unifii has something to offer. So let's get started. And I wanted to play a couple of minutes now. I'm going to go back just a little bit, because there's a lot, like I told you just now, there's a lot of companies that are out, and there are new companies that are starting. Unifii is a relatively new company as far as they're out of pre-launch. They have launched. They have an advantage over other companies that I see right off the bat, although there are some other companies that are out here that are going to launch big. Now, the thing about any company is, how is it going to work for you? And this is a question that's really important, because this is a question that I really did not understand for the whole 20 or 30 years or actually a little bit longer, when I first got introduced to the possibility of me making money, some sort of passive income, some sort of way of like earning money residually. I never really knew how was I going to be able to make that happen, and I never considered that question. I was really enticed by. So years ago, it used to be like it wasn't online essentially because there was no online when I first started. I was in my early 20s, and no, actually, I was, well, in my 20s and 30s. And then I was introduced to a company, and then the first thing we did was we went over to a hotel, and there was exciting, presentation, and there were people who were earners who flashed these big checks up on the screen and said, like the top guy was making all this money, and it was really exciting. So for me, I've always known that it was a possibility that I could make some sort of, like, I could be a network marketer. I could do, as a matter of fact, network marketing wasn't the first thing that I wanted to make money with that would have been residual. I really, because I sing and I write music, I thought maybe if I made records at the time, and then I was able to get my records out into the marketplace, that I'd be able to make residual income the way that artists make a residual income now, like, because they make income when their music is played on anything in the public. But anyway, that story aside, is just to tell you that, the idea that I always felt that, there was a better way to make money rather than me going to work and trading my time, just for the rest of my life, just like tied into like 40 years of, working a job, 9 to 5 or whatever my hours would be. And that was the only way. I never really felt like I was that kind of person who wanted to do that, permanently and although, yes, I have had a job for a while, I've always had some sort of thing where something in me, I've always wanted some sort of side hustle or a way to make money. And I have made money in many different ways, like outside of my quote unquote job. For example, there's always been, I remember before I even had jobs, I always sold something. Even as a little kid, I sold Christmas cards in order to buy a guitar. I When I was older, I made candles. I've made tie-dye t-shirts. I've always done something, having some sort of entrepreneurial spirit that, because I always knew that there was money to be made, and all I really needed to do was get out there and try to figure out how to make it happen. So yes, eventually, I settled in. I got a decent job. I love my job. It's a fine job. The people I work with are fine and wonderful. But there's more to life than just working a job. And maybe you came from the same background that I came from, where, my family basically really didn't have a lot of money, and the way of making money was always being out on the and I call it just the everyday hustle. Like a 9 to 5 job is an everyday hustle. I'm not saying that they were out there hustling the streets like, prostituting or anything weird like that. I am saying just to go to work every day and trade time for money. So that to me is what I'm defining as the everyday hustle. And to me, it's always been in the back of my mind that I could make money another way. And so when I first got introduced to the internet, I thought right away that, it was a great way to make money, but I never could figure out how I was going to do it. And I took a look at different ways to try to do it. And some of the ways that I was like, no, I'm not so sure about this way or that way. And also in the back of my mind, I always was trying to do some sort of network marketing thing, because I also thought network marketing was a wonderful, viable way, sustainable way to make money, but I never could figure out how in the heck to make a significant amount of money that was something that was going to be able for me to, like, generate some kind of monthly check, that I could actually do something with. And so none of that ever worked. So which brings me back to today, because Unifii is a company that has everything in place to help a person like me and a person who is perhaps like you to be able to um, have a sustainable passive income that could actually be something that could be life changing. And Unifii, that's why I like Unifii. So, it's no secret that I like Unifii, and I've compared Unifii to a lot of other programs. And, I am in some other programs, even though been, I chose to promote, I'm choosing to promote Unifii as my top program because it's like, number one, it's the best one, in my opinion, or at least it was the best one I'm in. And I'm also on the best team, and the marketing team that I'm with is superior. And there isn't any other opportunity out here that's, to me, that I've seen, that's offering this kind of way that's teaching me and other people in our team how to go about building this team. So, because like everybody who's in network marketing, maybe you're a network marketer, maybe you've built a big team, but there are people who don't have that skill already in place that want to learn how to not only take advantage of the products that Unifii has, which is signals and a new thing, drum roll, um, and they have altcoin reports and crypto education, well, financial education, actually. It's more than just crypto. But there's people who don't know how to get themselves so that they can generate some life-changing or income, or at least some income that just helps them with something that they need. Perhaps, like for me, I will be retiring from my 9-to-5 job, and it's been important to me to understand, like, how am I going to do the things I really want to do in my retirement? Because I'm not going to be one of these people who comes back, like I've seen other people on my job where they retired and then they came back and they worked part-time. And we have people right there. We have people there right now who came back, who are there working part-time. And maybe they do it for reasons that I don't know about. Some people get lonely. Some people don't have enough money. They need additional income. So for me, that's not the path I want, and that's not the path that I'm going to accept, because I'm confident that that I have found a way, and I'm already making money. So it's already really good for to be in a position to not only be making money, but to actually excel um, at uh, making making residual passive income. So that was a lot, and I'm going to go back to what I wanted to start off with, and that is one of the distinctions that Unifii has that's really wonderful. Now, I'm going to play a little bit of this video, and it's really unfortunate in one way, that this screen is really small, where you get an opportunity to see Ron Monterulli, who is the CEO of Unifii, and also John Kinnear. When you hear them talk, you can use your own feelers, use your own intuition, so that you can, see whether or not, what do you feel vibrationally? What do you feel in your human self towards this particular person, and John as well? Like, because I get a really good feeling about them. Not only do they know what they're talking about because they're experienced, but there's I don't get any residue that there's some kind of disconnected person. I don't know how to describe it, but I believe we all have an intuition that tells us when something's good and when it isn't. And you always feel that little thing in the back of your mind, or in the back of something in your spirit that says, oh, something, I like this, okay, but something's just a little bit not right, even if you go forward with it. I don't get that feeling with the people in Unifii at all. I just don't. So so that's how come I'm always willing to go with my intuition, because it's been good. And I also know that good things come my way. So I wanted to play a little bit about of this today. On every Wednesday, there are 2 calls, which is a great thing. Unifii does communicate with the people who are involved in a very wonderful way. And that's different than some other companies, trust me. And I'm not trying to put them down, but I can say that I've been involved with companies where you can't communicate with them and they don't communicate, with you, and how they communicate, to me, it is not the best. And so, you know, I've had enough experience now to compare. So I'm really excited that Unifii has the weekly webinars. These aren't not interactive webinars, which is totally okay. Um, so let's go ahead.
We had a great call this afternoon at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, typically for our European folks and individuals in all parts of the world. And boy, oh boy, did we get a lot of positive feedback from that call. So we're going to be obviously sharing that with you again today, and kind of giving you some updates on some of the things that we've been doing in the background. And we're pretty darn excited, trying to keep my emotions down, because it is really, really exciting what we've got coming. And it's, I think it's a game changer. I really do. John?
Well, it certainly is. It's for a lot of people, and it's something that's been in the works for some time. Hence, my being off the continent for a month.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, listen, I put this slide up here because I think it's important to understand who we are. There's always a lot of new people that are joining us on our webinars here. So welcome to Unifii. My name is Ron Monterulli. I'm the CEO. This is John Kinnear, our Chief Marketing Officer as well. Unfortunately, David Dewar is not available today. He's our Chief Technology Officer, but he'll definitely be with us next week. Just kind of want to talk a little bit about the realities. I was having some conversations this week, and sometimes you forget. And I was just thinking about, we were talking about retirement, we were talking about dreams, the next stage of life, and we were just talking about a lot of people still having to continue to work and not quite there. And I just wanted to remind people that what we're about, what this company is really all about, and whether it's retiring older or whether it's retiring in midlife or retiring really, really early, who knows, maybe in your 20s, I don't know your situation, but the reality is 95% of people actually never get the opportunity to live out those retirement dreams. And I just want to kind of point out a few things which are very, very important, and that is why. And the reality is this: there is, in essence, many of us have a lack of discipline. You've heard me talk a lot about the fact that you should pay yourself first, always. Pay yourself first, always. And the second point is take advantage of compounding. We all know that Einstein called that the wonder of the world, but what we sometimes do is we don't allow compounding to work in our favor. And what we end up doing is we end up sticking our hand in the cookie jar. So we pay ourselves first, but sometimes when we look at a difficult situation financially or whatever the case may be, we stick our hand in that particular cookie jar, which is really one of the worst places you could go, because now you're not allowing compounding to work for you. It really should be the discipline of not looking there, visualizing and accepting that that doesn't even exist. And this is going to be where the money is going to be for the future. And the other thing that I find is the fact that there's a lot of lack of knowledge. I've had the privilege of sharing a lot of this information to a lot of people around the world for many, many years. And it still boggles my mind how many people really don't understand the basic fundamental concepts of building wealth. And I guess it all comes down to the fact that we're not taught. It's really, in essence, not our fault. But, the information is out there. Well, the other issue is, who do you trust? And lack of knowledge, I think about understanding how fees can kill your retirement, how market crashes can kill your retirement, how chasing past performance can kill your retirement. Meaning, there's a lot of funds out there that people put their monies in, or the account managers put their money in when they were great performers in the previous year, but the reality is they have been proven not to be the next great performer. So you end up putting your money in chasing performance, and that's not necessarily the best. Just some real basic things. You've heard me say that when there's blood in the streets, that's when cash is king, and that's when you should be buying. It's really interesting. Don't go against the market, against the trend. And knowledge. Really, really important to have that basic fundamental knowledge. And then I think it's lack of support. And what I mean by lack of support is the ability to be able to get yourself in an environment where you have people that have the same dreams, that have the same goals, that are maybe looking to learn as well, and an organization like Unifii that's prepared to provide you the necessary education as well as the tools to take advantage of time. Time is your greatest asset. After time, it's the knowledge of how to be able to properly use your money so that you can ultimately retire living the goals and dreams and aspirations that you really, really want. So I wanted to kind of highlight that because at the end of the day, that's an absolute core piece of who we are as a company. And we want to make sure that we're helping as many people as possible to slash that number. You don't need to be part of those 95%. Even if you're sitting on the line here today and you're in your 50s, you don't need to be part of that 95%. If you're in your 30s, boy, oh boy, with the right information, you won't have to go past your 50s. And if you're in your 20s or 30s, boy, oh boy, we ever going to be giving you some information that's going to ultimately, I think, be life-changing. So that's what we're trying to provide people and empower people to do this on their own. Because if they don't do it on their own, that means they're depending on others to do it for them. And when that happens, you're out of control. And when you're out of control, you're not in the knowledge. And when you're not in the knowledge, then you're really at the mercy of, well, quite frankly, individuals that might not necessarily look for your back at all times, because ultimately they're there to take care of themselves. John, anything on this? I know that you really like to.
So I hope you got a lot out of that, because it's really important information to understand that it is the lack of knowledge that has most people in the financial situation that they're in. For example, I just know that the communities that I see who have the least amount of money, really it comes because they're generationally have not had the advantage of generational wealth that could even give them the kind of starts that some other communities have had. And the lack of discipline, ability to understand about compounding and how exactly to manage money, that's really foreign to a lot of people. So, and then one thing that I really liked about what he just said is about the lack of support and being in a community with people who have similar goals, who can really help you to achieve your own goals. It's very important. So, it was interesting because earlier today I was looking at a video with Grant Cardone, who is someone who I've known about for years, ever since I used to sell cars years and years ago. And he actually sold cars years ago, and now he's a millionaire, and he has the number one sales training company. And it's amazing what people have done. And so he's a multimillionaire now into real estate. He has his company that does sales training. He's written lots of books, etc. And I follow him a lot on and watch a lot of his YouTube, his videos, and check him out a lot because I study people who have money so I can understand what they're doing, and so I can emulate that and the mindset that it takes, and I learn a lot that way. And he, in this one little video, I just want to put one thing out. Now, I don't agree with every single thing that Grant thinks and what Grant says. He says things that maybe are a little bit outside of the couple things I align with. His sense of humor, etc., words that he says, things like that. But nonetheless, there's some principles that he does know that I can take, that I take. It's almost like there's a program that I'm in or used to be in or go to, and they would say, take what you like and leave the rest. So here, I'm just going to play a little bit so you can hear something important that he says.
It's saying, hey man, if you got $1 million, you're basically just a freaking deadbeat.
Okay. Oh, there you are. So, calling people a deadbeat, that isn't something that I go along with. But just listen to some of the rest of what he's saying.
And that your daddy didn't tell you that. If you didn't have any more income and you were, how old are you? You're 27 years old. I'm going to do this at 47. I'm going to do it at 65. 27. You don't have any more income. How long would that money last? At $4,000 a month, you got 25 years. Where can you live on 4?
You know what's funny? Did
It's
I?
saying, hey man, if you got $1 million,
Did it
you're
start at the
basically-
beginning?
it's
Yeah,
saying,
okay.
hey, man,
Just double checking.
I'm going to do it at 65. 27. You don't have any more income. How long would that money last? At $4,000 a month, you got 25 years. Where can you live on $4,000 a month? You'd have to live on $4,000 a month for 25 years. You will be 52 years old, my friend.
Now, Grant does know his math. He's a
Another
math.
thing you got to do is this. You got to change the target.
Change the
You
target.
need to target daily. The target, you have the wrong target right now. If you're struggling, you have the wrong target. When you change the target, everything changes. Now, and I started with 0, just so you guys know. I didn't have anything. Okay, so look, it's simple. Target, what's your new target? Freedom. Yeah, freedom.
Freedom.
Let's put a number on it. Your first target should be $10 million and nothing short of that. Number
What do
one
you
target.
think?
Number 2, you need to get your income to a place. This is a fascinating concept right here.
Yeah, let me get rid of
Okay, if
this.
you can do this, I guarantee you'll be rich. You need to get your income not to what pays your bills, but to where you can save 40% of your gross income is saved. All right, so now when you do this math, you're like, dude, how much money do I actually need? Let's kick this up to 20 grand. At 20 grand, what happens? You're saving 8. Storage. You're paying 8. And now you can live on 4. See, now this is the right way to do a budget. You make 30,000. 12's going to storage. 12's going to the IR and the S. And that leaves you with 6. So now you can start seeing, dude, you got to be somewhere north of 300 grand a year. This is what they don't teach you at Harvard. You got to be somewhere north of 360 a year before you even have money to live on. Unless you're just, you're a dreck. You're just an irresponsible human being that's not storing money away for the future. Okay? Now you're saving 12 grand a month. That's $144,000 in 1 year. In 10 years, that's $1.4 million. In 10 years, you're a millionaire, stored. You guys need to be heavily money motivated from a survival standpoint. Okay, number 3 thing you're going to do. You're going to go broke right here and invest the storage. Storage has to get invested. The golden goose is only good if she lays eggs. Otherwise, you can kill her. Eat her for a chicken. Need eggs. Money needs to make babies, right? So your goal right here is to invest the storage money and continue to do that until this money over here, the passive money, is equal to your income. Right? So what?
All right. So this is the part that I really wanted you to see, because I mean it's really apparent that people who have money know how to keep money. And one thing that I like about Grant, he always says, like, most people don't know how to make money, don't know how to keep money, and they don't know how to grow their money. I think it's those 3 things. I'm almost sure of it. And when he talks about that money needs to make babies, to have babies, and that you have to have money in order to invest, like who would you have learned that from if you didn't have the knowledge or education that came from someplace, to tell you this? And that's one of the reasons why Unifii is such a great company, because their product is financial education, and they give you a means in order to get it. And then if you want to they also recommend compounding, so that you can actually have a plan that is not a get rich quick. It's basically you have a plan, just basically just like what Grant's talking about, where you have a plan that so over time you're going to take the money, and then if you want to make extra money by recommending Unifii and you become an affiliate, you'll make commissions. You take that money and then you can trade that, and then you can also compound what you make. So it's a really win-win situation for everybody, and people's lives are being touched and changed. So back to what I was showing you. So Unifii has a new product that is being introduced, and on Monday, November the 12th, 2018, since that's where we are right now, at 3 p.m. New York time, 8 p.m. London time, 9 p.m. New York time. So they're going to be having, and on Tuesday, they are going to tell more about the upcoming Forex component of Unifii. So I don't think I'm spilling any beans, but because they already had said that they were going to come down and introduce some other parts to their platform. I'm sorry, I don't even have water up here. Or do I? And so it's going to be really exciting. I have none in here. Well, anyway, I'm not going to make the video too much longer anyway, but it's going to be really, really exciting. It's going to be a once-in-a-lifetime product. You can be on the call. You don't have to be a member of Unifii in order to be on there. So if you have heard about Unifii, you're waiting to see like what was going to happen with it, just know that it is still active and viable. And you can get on this call, and I'm going to put the link in the description along with the date and the times and everything. So essentially, Unifii's vision is to help you and people who are looking for a really good way, a very viable way to help themselves and help other people. And that's one of my main reasons for really liking them, because they also have what they call Unifii Cares, where they're helping other people in other countries. I'm not going to go into that right now either. So let's see. I did have something else. I'm trying to remember what else I was going to talk about. Oh, yeah. All right, then. So the last thing I want to talk about on this video before I close is what exactly makes the opportunity have like a cherry on top is that the team that I'm working with, our leadership gives the best, most detailed, high-functioning, well-organized training. Now, I pay for this because I'm investing in myself. Yeah, I'm paying extra for the training because I want to learn this. And I never had anybody teach me step by step by step. And yes, there's other companies, and I know, like, you know, and I'm not putting other companies down because I do know that I should have rephrased this. There are other companies that teach you step by step what to do, but they haven't. The ones that I have been involved with never taught me how to do it online. So, for example, there's a company that someone took me to, and, you know, yeah, every Saturday they have meetings. I could go to their meetings and all that, but that's not what I want to do. My specialty is IT and other things, you know, like I'm into art as far as singing and things like that. So my thing is like I want to make residual income in large amounts, and I want to be able to do it online. I don't want to like have small, tiny amounts of money because to me the numbers don't add up over the same amount of work. And I don't want to have to always, like, although I do plan to have live meetings where I you know, can have people come live, I also want a great portion of the work I do to be online because you reach many more people that way. So now how exactly to make that happen? Oh yeah, that was another story. Because everybody that I saw that I've ever seen online has figured out a way to monetize their online experience. So it's all about not just being a consumer, being on Facebook, like reading or and watching videos and being on YouTube for entertainment, or Instagram or Twitter, or being like getting, being part of the viewership. It's being able to, how can I use the internet as a tool to be able to help myself achieve my one of my goals that takes me to my further goal, which is, for me to be financially wealthy, which is my goal. I've always wanted to be wealthy. It isn't even something that's been new. For me to be wealthy means that, and have my time freedom. That's the other thing, so that I can do a lot of stuff. I have a lot of dreams and visions, like the way I want to help people by having workshops. I need money to be able to do that, so that I can travel and help people in their healing processes or their transformational processes. That's my ultimate goal. So the thing that I wanted to share right now, the reason why I have this up here, is because this is one of the posts from a set of instructions for us. And it's really interesting because for someone to teach me and us how to create videos, how to do marketing, how to have a mindset, and it's really important for a person like me to have clear instruction. So one of the things that I just wanted to just read for a second is, it just says this. What are we offering? We're offering a system to duplicate wealth. Right. Because duplicating wealth, sharing wealth, helping other people to become wealthy. We're offering support and mentoring from those who have generated 7 and 8 figures. It's been interesting to work with people who really literally have generated 7 and 8 figures. And they are teaching the mindset. They're teaching the strategy. They're teaching what to do as far as what all the tools. And you can find all this information out for yourself. Go on YouTube and you can see there are plenty of people who are teaching like how to market online, how to grow your Facebook business, or put your business on Facebook or Instagram or YouTube or Snapchat or even Grant Cardone. There's plenty of people who are like showing that this is a way to be able to make money, but to have somebody lay the steps out for you, this is the whole difference. So, and actually, these are not the only people who've done it, but they've been doing it that worked the best, that has worked the best, in my opinion, for me. Because there's another guy, I really loved how he laid out everything. He did a lot of work. If you work with him, you can use a lot of his videos and everything. But there's a couple of differences working with this team is that they actually have us on webinars where we engage, ask all our questions, and we can have anything that we're doing. It's like an interactive thing. So it isn't like there's a system that I have to go through and I have to go from video 1, video 2, video 3 and set up, this or that in for and it, I had that too, but it didn't work that well because I didn't really know how to generate traffic. So these people know how to generate traffic, number one. And number two, they know how to test traffic. They know how to set up the funnel system. They know how to set up the emails and the follow-up emails. I mean, there's such a wonderful system to plug into to teach other people and to duplicate. It's like the vehicle, Unify as the vehicle, and that's only just getting ready to get better because of the addition. And then also the marketing. I mean, you know, it's it's that exciting and it's that good. So, Unify, the road ahead, your journey towards financial freedom. You know, I was watching the presentation, on my TV, and I took this so I can make it as a thumbnail. And I just wanted to make a video to share with you the exciting news that Unify is doing something really big, and to get you to, plug into the call. You've had a couple of months. Anybody who's been following me or following Unify, you've had a while now since, when did we start Unify? You've had a while to be able to see how everything's grown, how it's gotten better. And, if you're really serious about stopping some other stuff, like I know a lot of people who are, they guess maybe just unaware that things that they're doing, I don't really believe they're ever going to generate wealth, and maybe some of them are, but I am seeing that the same people, like I already said in another video, I have so many people who are right in groups that I'm on Telegram, WhatsApp, and they just like constantly post like, airdrop or this or that. I think they're trying to follow like Ian Bellina, people, and try to like make all this money. But there's a whole bunch of people who are also talking about how they haven't really had any money that they lost money. Like that's all they're doing is talking like, oh, I lost money, but they keep doing the same thing. Now here is an opportunity to stop doing that crap. Like we learn we learned the lesson from last year with all the crappy ICOs and trying to go that route. That's not necessary. That to me is not going to work. Learning how to trade, not having anybody else I'm not giving my money over to Unify. That's something that's really good. My money is staying in my hands, under my control. And I'm not just like buying stuff and not knowing, just like Ron was saying earlier. I was thinking about, one thing that really struck me was, and then I'm going to close the video, about going after assets that were good at some point and now they're not really good anymore. And so I think that's important, and being able to be teachable, be coachable, and to be able to listen when something good, and really recognize when something good is coming down the pike. That's another difference that I see between myself and some of the leaders, is that, yeah, maybe we made some mistakes in the past, but we learned from those. And now something very good and sustainable is here. And it's easy to recognize how this opportunity and this program, this company, the leadership, the knowledge is here, the results are here. It's easy to see that this is something solid. So on that note, I am going to close the video, not to go on and on. And with my usual, my motto is question everything, and see if there's some sort of way you can get underneath of your belief system so you can see what's stopping you from having what you want. And if you like my video here and you like the videos in general, like and subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I expect you on Mondays webinars so that you can find out the most exciting thing that's like out here right now with Unify, and probably in this space, to be honest. I know there's a couple other things that are kind of fun. Well, they're exciting. I am privy to know that there's other stuff, but this right here, you are not going to have the same, well, I don't know, I can't say that, but I am saying that I know for a fact of what we have. All right then, peace out. Looking forward to you being on my team. I am too happy.